Have you ever heard the legend of Darth Bane? Hello there, and welcome to today's video, where we will be looking at the early life of the Sith Lord who would come to redefine the very nature of the Sith Order, in a restructure that would ultimately spell the end of the Jedi Order as they'd existed for thousands of years. This video will cover Bane's early life, his meteoric rise through the ranks of the Sith Academy, and his eventual destruction of the Brotherhood of Darkness. So, without any further ado, let's examine the life of Darth Bane. Before he was Darth Bane, he was just Dez, born on the desolate mining world of Apatros. Dez was raised in darkness long before he ever touched the Force. His father Hurst was a bitter drunk, who blamed his son for every misfortune in his life. To him, Dez wasn't a child. He was a curse. A bane. At 16, Dez was forced into the Cortosis mines. Day after day, he clawed through rock for a company that kept its workers in crushing debt. The labor built his body into a weapon, but it also hardened his spirit. He had no future on Apatros, only survival. By 18, Hurst was dead, but the abuse didn't stop. One of his father's friends tried to carry it on, only for Dez to receive a flicker of warning, an unexplainable vision. Acting without thought, he lashed out, maiming the man. For the first time, the dark side whispered to him, steering his hand. To escape the mines, Dez turned to gambling. Unconsciously, he used the Force to read the table, winning more often than not. But luck comes at a price. One night, after humiliating a group of Republic soldiers, Dez was ambushed in the dark streets of Apatros. The soldiers tried to beat him, but Dez was stronger. His years in the mines had made sure of that. When one drew a blade, the dark side stirred again, showing Dez the strike before it came. He turned the weapon back on his attacker, killing the soldier in cold blood. It was the moment everything changed. With a dead Republic soldier at his feet, Dez could no longer stay on Apatros. The Republic would come for him. And so, with the help from a local ally, he fled. Not to safety, but to war. The Sith were rising, locked in a brutal conflict with the Jedi known as the New Sith Wars. Dez enlisted in their ranks, not yet realizing he was walking towards the destiny that would make him more than a man. It would make him Darth Bane. Dez left behind the mines of Apatros and enlisted in the Sith Army. He was placed in the infamous Gloomwalkers unit, soldiers sent on the most dangerous missions the Sith could devise. Out there, Dez found something he'd never had before. Comrades. For the first time, he belonged. And yet, it didn't take long for his instincts and his visions to set him apart. Time and again, his uncanny foresight saved his unit from ambush or disaster. The dark side whispered to him on the battlefield, guiding his aim, sharpening his reactions. But when his commander ordered a suicidal daylight assault, Dez snapped. He knocked the officer unconscious, took command, and led the Gloomwalkers to victory. It was mutiny, plain and simple. But it was also brilliance, and the Sith Masters noticed. Instead of execution, Dez was summoned before Lord Kopej. The Sith Lord saw what Dez truly was. Not just a soldier, but a Force sensitive. A weapon waiting to be forged. Kopej offered him a place at the Sith Academy on Korriban, and Dez, well, he accepted. And with that, he shed the name of his past. From now on, he would bear the name his father had spat at him in hatred. The name of a curse. The name of his destiny. Bane. On Korriban, Bane's power exploded. He tore through the ranks of apprentices, his connection to the dark side growing at a pace that terrified his peers. But power made him reckless. In a duel against the Makurth apprentice Fohar, Bane was beaten, humiliated. When the Makurth mocked him, something inside Bane snapped. Rage flooded through him, and with a twist of the Force he crushed his opponent's neck. Victory should have been his triumph, but it came with a horrifying revelation. This was not the first life he had taken with the dark side. Deep down, he realized he had murdered his father. The guilt broke him. Bane withdrew from the Force, and with it, his dominance in the Academy slipped away. He was beaten and broken by the Zabrak Sirak, and abandoned by both master and student alike. Alone, Bane turned to the archives. Buried within the ancient texts of the Sith, he began to piece together knowledge that the current Brotherhood ignored. And it was there that he met Githany, a former Jedi who had embraced the Sith. Cunning, seductive, and ambitious, Githany saw Bane's potential. She rekindled the fire inside him, teaching him lessons the Masters denied him. At the same time, Bane returned to training under Qasim, the Blade Master. He played both sides, sharpening his skills with Githany's schemes and Qasim's discipline. When he finally faced Sirak again, Bane crushed him in the dueling ring, but he spared his life. A decision that disgusted Githany. Their alliance, built on power and desire, crumbled. From then on, Bane's path would be his own. Cordus, the Academy's master, demanded Bane abandon the ancient writings. Bane refused. The words of dead Sith held more truth than the hollow teachings of the living. He left the Academy behind and wandered into the Valley of the Dark Lords, seeking wisdom from the spirits of the ancients themselves. Days passed. No food, no water, no spirits waiting to guide him. Only silence. But in that silence, Bane found clarity. The ancient Sith had not abandoned the dark side. No. It was the Brotherhood of Darkness that had perverted it. The Sith had become weak, their numbers making them petty and divided. Bane saw the truth. The Sith of his time were unworthy. When he returned to the Academy, he was a different man. Sirak and his lackeys tried to ambush him. Githany betrayed them at the last moment, helping Bane slaughter the others. Yet, while she rejoiced in her promotion to Sith Lord, Bane only felt contempt. He had outgrown the Academy, outgrown the Brotherhood. He stole Cordus's ship and set a new course, into the unknown regions, towards the ancient world of Lihon. There, in the ruins of the past, he would find the wisdom to shape the future, and in the shadows of that forgotten world, he did. A holocron belonging to Darth Revan himself. In its teachings, Bane found confirmation of everything he had come to believe. The Sith could not thrive as an army, ruled by the madness of many. They needed structure. They needed purpose. They needed a new order. A rule of two. One to embody power, the other to crave it. With Revan's knowledge seared into his mind, Bane destroyed the holocron. There could be only one keeper of this truth. From that moment forward, he was not just another Sith Lord. He was the Sith. When Darth Bane returned to Ruusan, he found the Brotherhood broken. Their leader, Lord Khan, was crumbling under the weight of his own madness, holding his fragile army together only through the Force. It was the perfect stage for Bane's final lesson. First, he bent the Brotherhood to his will. He led them in a massive ritual, unleashing fire that consumed the forest where the Jedi hid. But while the others celebrated their slaughter, Bane quietly gave new orders. He sent the Sith fleet to clash head-on with Jedi reinforcements, and thus the Sith's forest trap backfired. Instead of victory, the Sith army was routed. Khan, already teetering on the edge of insanity, shattered completely. And in that weakness, Bane whispered. He told Khan of an ancient weapon, a ritual of unimaginable power, the Thought Bomb. With it, Khan could wipe out the Jedi once and for all. Desperate, Khan obeyed. The Jedi, wary of the ritual, sent only a small force into the caves where Khan and his Sith had gathered. But once inside, there was no escape. The Thought Bomb ignited, a storm of dark side energy that devoured everything, binding the souls of every Sith and every Jedi trapped within it for eternity. The Brotherhood of Darkness was gone. The Jedi's numbers thinned, and from the devastation, one figure walked away. Darth Bane. In the aftermath, he found a child wandering the battlefield. Rain, a girl who had just unleashed the dark side to avenge the death of her friend. Where others might have seen a broken child, Bane saw destiny. He claimed her as his apprentice. One master, one apprentice, the Sith reborn. And so, from the ashes of Ruusan, one Sith remained. The Brotherhood was gone, the Jedi scarred, and in the silence that followed, Darth Bane emerged as the true Dark Lord of the Sith. No rivals, no distractions, only the rule of two. A vision that would shape the galaxy for 1,000 years. This is where our story pauses. But Bane's journey was only beginning. In part 2, we'll see how he pushed his body beyond mortal limits, how he hunted the secrets of the ancient Sith, and how the rule of two was forged in blood, pain, and ambition. The galaxy believed the Sith destroyed. In truth, they had never been more dangerous. Honestly, I love Darth Bane's stories. I think it's probably only beaten out maybe by like Darth Plagueis, but it's so fascinating to watch this like man who's gone through all this kind of crap mold into a monster, but like a really philosophical monster who's like essentially just a treasure hunter when it really comes down to it. It's awesome. If anyone hasn't read Darth Bane: Path of Destruction yet, I highly recommend it. It's a phenomenal book, especially a phenomenal Star Wars book. But what do you think about Bane's journey so far? You know, do you think he's a great character? Do you like the fact that this is kind of the widely accepted origin of the Rule of Two? I know it differs a little bit from George Lucas's like own thoughts on the Rule of Two, but I've always preferred it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and thank you for watching.